Welcome back to Linden House IT. Today we are looking at 10 useful functions that I use and that help me do my job better. So without further ado, we've got the Windows virtual machine up and running. And the first thing that I would like to show you is the taskbar quick launch functions. So at the bottom, we have our taskbar right here. You can see here's the Windows button, and I've got the Windows Explorer pinned down here, the Microsoft Edge browser, and the Microsoft Store. So these are all default pinned items on the taskbar. You can easily pin more items on the bottom taskbar by just right-clicking on an item. Let's say the snipping tool, right-click on the item, and then pin to taskbar, and that pins it to the bottom here. So if you have a bunch of icons at the bottom, okay, let's actually do this. Let's put Paint down here as well, and we'll throw Outlook on here, Pen to taskbar, and Notepad. Why not? Our trusty Notepad. There we go. That looks a bit better, more populated. So the cool thing about this is that each of these items, other than the Windows button, represents a number on your keyboard. So number 1 would be File Explorer, 2, Edge, 3, Store, and so on and so forth. So by quick launching the taskbar, all you have to do is hold the Windows button down on your keyboard, and then you can press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it'll open everything up. So you can see Paint is open, Store is open, Snipping tool is open, Edge is open, and the File Explorer is open. So if I want to start just the snipping tool, I would press 4, Windows 4. If I want to start the Notepad, I would do Windows 7. Boom, pops up. So this is a really cool function when you first open your computer and you have the 4 default apps that you always start, and then that's a quick way to, you can rearrange them any way you like. Do it this, like that, and then once your computer's booted up, all you gotta do is press the Windows button, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all your windows start right up. So that's pretty cool. On to number 2. When you have a lot of windows open and you want to shut them all down really quickly, so I'll demonstrate that. Okay, let's say I've got multiple things open here. So let's fire up a calculator and take a look at settings, and sure, we'll pull up the clock. Oh, don't have internet. An Edge session, maybe 2. Let's open up another one, throw it right there. So now we've got this, we have this and that and that. So now a quick way to close all of these instead of finding all the X's here is by pressing Alt and F4, and you have to be highlighted on your first window, but it takes care of the rest. So it should close one after another. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it closed all the windows. And then if I want to shut down, I can press it one more time, and it gives me the shutdown option. And then I just have to hit enter, and it'll shut it down for me. So that's a really quick way of closing down your windows if you're done for the day or whatever. Alt F4, close all the windows, press it one more time, hit enter, and it'll shut down your computer. You could just do it the traditional way by just clicking the shut down button, but Windows isn't always good at shutting down apps on its own, and then sometimes you have to go back in and shut down the apps manually. So this way it just takes care of everything. It's just Alt F4 on an Excel sheet or somewhere where you need to save your files first. It'll pull up a prompt to save, so that'll interrupt your flow. But if you just have a bunch of web browser windows open, a file explorer like I showed you, and then just Alt F4, and it'll close everything down really quickly. So that's a neat trick that I use quite often as well. Number 3 is moving windows around via keyboard shortcut. So if I demonstrate quickly here, let's open up a Windows Explorer and Edge session. What we normally do is drag the window wherever we want to the sides, and then Windows gives us options up here. How do we want to put it? and be it like this, and then we can select this one to match the other window. So we can do it that way. A shortcut for this is by highlighting the window that you want to change. So let's say the Edge session. I'm going to hold down the Windows button and then use the arrow keys to move the window. So press right, moves it to the right. Press down, minimizes it. Up, pulls it back up. And then if I press up one more time, it maximizes it. And then, yeah, so that way I can move the window around wherever I want, like that. Changes forms as well. And this can be especially useful in some cases with external monitors. An app will start on an invisible monitor. It's started, but you can't find it. And that's one way to pull it back in. So if we were to hide this as much as possible without snapping it, Windows is going to want to snap this. Yeah. But you get the point. Yeah. So if this was hidden somewhere, we could press the Windows button and move the window. And this works for other screens. So if I had another screen to the right, I would press right one more time and it would move it to the other screen. So that's a really useful trick as well. Off to number 4 is the Windows L combo. Windows L, like that. And then we sign back in. This is very useful when you walk away from your computer to lock your machine so that nobody can see what you're up to or spy on you or mess with your computer. And I ask of you, if you're working in an office environment and you're leaving your computer, be it to go to the bathroom or go on break or something else, please lock your computer. Lock it. Off to number 5. So the next few tools that I usually use are commands within the command prompt. Let's close all this down and let's pull up the command prompt. CMD. There we go. This is Windows command prompt. One command that I use very often, this is more for networking and network communication troubleshooting, is ipconfig. ipconfig. If I hit enter, it spits out the IP address of my machine. So this is very useful for network communication troubleshooting, or just identifying where the computer is at. So this computer is at 192.168.198, and the network is at a 255, and then the default gateway, which would be a router, is at 198.2. So that's very useful information. We can also expand this by going ipconfig, and I just press the up arrow to pull up the recent command. I hit ipconfig space / all, and that will give me quite a bit more information. That'll give me the host name, description of my network adapter, the MAC address, DHCP, a bunch more options. It'll give me the DHCP server and the DNS servers down here. So this is very useful information for when you're working with network communications or troubleshooting, or just identifying where the system is and if it has all its settings properly set to communicate through the network and to the internet. Speaking of network communications, another function that I use very often also is ping. Ping sends a packet to a destination and awaits a response. So this communicates between devices. That way we can tell, do we have proper communication on the network, or is there something that's broken? So if I were to ping, let's say I would ping google.com. And google.com is replying to me with this IP address. So I know that's working. One other thing that's also working is I can ping via name, which means DNS is working as well. So that's great. I could also ping Google's IP address, which is exactly this. So if I were to do ping 108.177.121.100, I should also get a reply. This is now directly to and from this IP address. A failure would look like if we did 192.168 1.1, let's say. Oh, this, okay. .1 is responding. Okay, let's try .3. Okay, so .3 is not responding. This is what a failure would look like. 192.168.1.3. Either that means there is no device at this IP address, or there's a network problem, or the device has ping turned off. Those things are to be considered as well. But this very useful function for troubleshooting network communication. Next function that I use quite often is SFC, which stands for System File Checker. This checks the Windows install files. So your current live system, it'll go through and check if there's any issues, corrupted files, and it'll try to repair them. And sometimes when you're experiencing boot up problems, or your system is kind of slow, sluggish, maybe blue screening once in a while, this is a good command to run, and usually it is able to repair. To use this command properly, we'll have to enter SFC/scan now. If I hit enter, right, I need to do this as an administrator, so let's do that. Pull the command prompt up as an administrator. There we go, SFC/scan now. So now it's beginning the scan process, and this might take some time. Oh, look at that. It finished the scan and found corrupt files and successfully repaired them. Interesting. So this is a fresh Windows install, but obviously there was something not right there. So it seemed to have found some corrupt files and fixed them successfully. So that's awesome. Another command that I usually use is GP update. GP update is a group policy update. Group policy is certain settings that we can define in a domain or in a business environment. So when we join computers to a domain, say we specify specific wallpaper that users get, or specific apps that get installed, shortcuts on their desktops. There's a huge amount of settings that you can manipulate and adjust and deploy to those machines. And that's what GP stands for, group policy. And GP update is very useful for new computers that are on the network. They have not pulled down the latest update file to get all the adjusted settings. So this GP update /force, this will force this computer to go and find the latest group policy from the domain controller, pull it down, and apply it to itself. So if I hit enter, oh, I guess I need to spell it correctly. So there we go. So now it's updating policy. It'll go and update the computer policy and the user policy. Updated goes successfully. And user policy update has completed successfully. So now it's picked it up. If there were any changes to the system, we would now reboot the computer and the group policy would be applied and change any of the preferences or settings. Next up, number 9. This one is a run command. You easily pull up the run window by pressing Windows R. This one is going to be ncpa.cpl. If I hit enter, this brings me to the network card adapter. And from here on, I can go properties, and I use this when assigning static IP addresses. Again, this is for networking, or if I want to turn the network card off, turn it back on, things like that. And that's a really quick way to get there. Next one is another run command. And this one's going to be sysdm.cpl. So this pulls up the system properties window, and this is mainly where I use it to rename the computer and join it to a domain. So if I change here, I can rename it, join it to a domain. So if you're in a business environment, you're very familiar with this. So that's a command that gets you there really quickly. Also, your remote settings, so being able to remote desktop into this machine, this is where I would do that. I would hit allow, and then I could select users that are allowed to remote into this machine. So those are 10 Windows 11 functions that I use quite often and help me make my job easier. Hope you could learn something from them and make use of those too. Thanks for checking it out, and I hope to see you in the next video.